I cannot believe I am filming this video right now. And I've just had a lot of moments this year that I felt like I am so busy raising other people's kids that I don't have time for my own. And that is so backwards, and I will not do it anymore. I feel like some of you are going to be shocked and some of you are gonna have seen this coming a mile away. Hi guys, welcome back. I quit my job. I am actually feeling so nervous now that it's actually time for me to sit down and film this video. I resigned from my job as a first grade teacher and I am going to stay home with my daughter next year. So let's talk about it. I'm so nervous. Why am I so nervous? I think it's because you guys are the last ones to know, and so once y'all know, it's over. Like, everyone in the world knows and it's official. I know there's going to be a lot of you that just click on this video and you don't watch my videos regularly anymore. So just to give y'all the Cliff Notes quick version, I have decided to spend time with my daughter. I want to be a stay-at-home mom and be able to give her the time and energy that she deserves. I make a lot of content about being a working mom and how I balance that, but truthfully, it has been very hard, and I filmed a lot of working mom stuff to show you it is possible. I don't want you to feel discouraged that it's impossible to teach and have babies. It's not. I've done it for the last year and a half and it's been fine. I just am able to stay home and feel like that's where I'm called right now, and that's what I'm gonna do. That doesn't mean you can't do it or there's anything wrong with being a working parent. My heart is just being pulled in two places right now, and I feel like it's time to give my daughter what she deserves, and where I feel like I'm being called in this season of my life is in my home. Also, I want to say this is not going to be a video of me bashing teaching and discouraging other teachers from joining the profession, because I love teaching, but it is just not where I feel like I'm supposed to be right now. I did kind of like outline on my phone the things that I wanted to kind of talk about, because I knew if I just sat down with no game plan and didn't think it through, it would be all over the place. And let's be honest, it's going to still be all over the place. I have a very long note. So I actually resigned all the way back in February to my principal, to my school district. My whole school has known since February. I've actually known that I was going to do it since September or October. I had this note on my phone. I started this note in October and I would just jot down like little things to be able to remember how I felt all year long. So this has definitely not been a last minute decision or something that I'm doing based off of emotions. This is something I've really thought through, prayed through, gone back and forth on, but really, I really haven't. My mind's really been made up for most of the school year. So let's go back a little bit. At the end of summer last year, if you have watched my vlogs since then, there was one vlog in particular. I can picture like I'm sitting in our bedroom on my bed and I'm pouring my heart out to YouTube about how I was kind of struggling with going back to work. I wasn't sure if I just felt this way because I didn't want to like leave my daughter, or if it's because I didn't want to go back to school. That feeling that I had then never really left. I thought maybe once I got into the swing of things and got back into the groove of teaching and got back used to like taking my daughter to be watched by somebody else, that it would get better. And it honestly just got harder and got worse as the year has gone on. So I kind of went into the school year with that on my mind, just getting a taste of like the full summer with Jordan. It really gave me a taste of what it would be like to be with her all the time. So it was really hard for me come August to leave her again and go back to teaching. So I kind of started the school year with that struggle and kind of felt that pull. But then my school year was just hard. I dealt with a lot of behaviors, and I've talked about it here and there, but I just have never had a school year like this one. And my first year was COVID, and my second year I had a baby and I was pregnant, very pregnant, and going through like sleep deprivation when I came back from being pregnant. And every year that I've had has been hard, but this year it's just some things that keep happening that I just keep feeling like this is not worth my time, the energy it takes, time away from my daughter. I don't get paid hardly anything. All year long, I just kept thinking like, this is not worth it. Pouring out my heart and soul and energy and giving literally all of me to them. And then I come home to my darling, sweet daughter who's so happy to see me, and I have nothing left to give her. it's not worth it. It's not fair. So Michael and I just kind of prayed about it. We sat on it for a while. I didn't want to make a rash decision. But that desire just kept growing stronger and stronger. This is not a video talking about all the reasons I hate teaching, because I love teaching. I have no idea how long I plan to stay home. I feel like that's going to be a question that I get asked, if this is going to be a couple years or like forever, if I'll ever return to teaching. I am not leaving the teaching field to go find a different job. I am just leaving to raise my daughter and my future children. My thought right now is I would at least like Jordan to be in school. And that might change when I have more children, whenever that happens, if I want to wait till they get in school. I don't know. I also feel like it's important for me to add that being a stay-at-home mom was never an aspiration of mine. That was never my goal. Even pregnant, that was not my plan. Even last spring when I came back off of leave, that was not my plan. And so I feel like it is truly a seed that the Lord planted in my heart, that this is my ministry right now, that my purpose in this season is to raise children. It also was just never a plan of mine because I really do love teaching. I feel like that is the profession that I am called to do, and whenever I feel called back to work, that is my plan. I would love to be a teacher again. I would love to even teach at my school again. I do love teaching. It is such a rewarding job, and there are pieces of that that I will really miss. It's been the hardest but easiest decision I've ever made because there are so many pieces of teaching that I love, and I feel like I placed a lot of my identity in teaching before I had Jordan. So that's just a lot of stuff I've been having to work through because it's hard for me to let go that piece of me. You guys have kind of seen that journey of me this year, chipping away at that and making my identity in the Lord and not my profession. And that also kind of leads me into my plans for the future because like I said, I would really love to be a teacher again one day. Whenever that is. I think my plan for next year is to be a sub just occasionally because I think if I just cut out teaching completely, I will really miss it. I think I just want the little taste, but I don't want all that goes into it. But I think subbing will be kind of a happy medium because I can do it when I just need a day to get my teaching fix in and Jordan can go be with my mother-in-law like she is right now. I also am going to obviously continue my YouTube channel, but I wanted to clarify I am not leaving teaching to be a full-time influencer. I am leaving to be a mom. I am still going to continue my YouTube journey. That was also not my intention when I kind of shifted my content at the beginning of the school year to be more lifestyle focused. It was not for the intention of becoming an influencer this next year. But if you go all the way back to that video, I don't even know when I decided to do that, but all that I uploaded this year about teaching was my classroom setup series and like the first week of school or the first days of school, and then nothing else because that's how quickly I experienced the burnout this year. But it was just a really hard year. I felt like I was being pulled in a million places at once. I felt like I have been failing at all of my jobs. I felt like a bad teacher, a bad friend, a bad mom, a bad wife. Everything I have on my plate, I am not able to do it well because I feel like I'm so stretched thin. This time in Jordan's life will never return. I have a lot of guilt even about the fact that I've missed the first year and a half of her life, and I know I haven't missed it, but sometimes it feels that way. And for my future children, I just do not want to feel like I have to choose between my job and my students and my own children. And I've just had a lot of moments this year that I felt like I am so busy raising other people's kids that I don't have time for my own. And that is so backwards, and I will not do it anymore. That's like the emotional side of it. So I knew I wanted to stay home. And then in February, the reason I resigned so early, I had no intention on resigning as early as I did. I was thinking like April-ish. Basically, I was asked if I would move up to teach second grade next year. And if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I actually always wanted a job in second grade, and I student taught in second grade. And actually my mentor teacher, who I love so dearly, is retiring after this year. And so I was asked to take her place, move into her classroom that I student taught in, teach second grade in there. And if you would have offered that to me 3 years ago, I would have cried tears of joy because that was my dream job. And honestly, that is still my dream. Like, I hope that one day the Lord puts that back in my path because It was really hard to have that offered to me when I knew it's not what I was meant to do. And so she offered me that in February. And honestly, at first I said, okay, I would move up. And something in my soul just knew I was not returning and I needed to tell her. And so I told, and by her I mean my principal. So while it was very freeing and felt I had a lot of peace about it, it was also very scary to give up this dream role that I've always wanted as a teacher. It was really hard to do, especially because being a stay-at-home mom is a sacrifice, right? I am not only sacrificing this career, even though it's been hard, I do love teaching and I would have loved this role. You're also making a sacrifice financially, and it is scary to just say goodbye voluntarily to a full-time income. Even though I don't make that much money, it's still an income that I am getting rid of. We kind of had planned that I would still have to sub and keep up YouTube pretty regularly in order to make ends meet. That was the plan. And then a few weeks later, we did our taxes and found out that at Michael's new job he got last summer, they were not pulling out taxes, like hardly at all. And we owed so much money on our taxes. So we had to go back to HR and fill out new paperwork to get taxes taken out of his paycheck. And he made significantly less money each check than he did before, than he did when I resigned. And so then we kind of started to panic. And I did talk about this very briefly a few months back. I said we were in this period of waiting. And for the first time in my whole life, I had the peace because I felt so confident in what the Lord called me to do. I knew he had asked me to stay home. I knew he had aligned all of these things. There's not even time to tell you all the things that he's aligned for this to work, but he has just showed me over and over again that this is what he wants me to do right now. And I trust that if he has called me to it, then he'll walk me all the way through it, whatever that looks like. So that happened on Sunday that we did our taxes. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday, but it was that week, just a few days later. Michael got offered a promotion at his job to be a director. So he was a manager. He got promoted to be a director, and his new income would be enough for us to live on with me staying home, even without subbing. That was so cool, and such another thing that God did just to show us that we are doing the right thing and that he is walking with us. It was just the coolest story. So that's the plan. I do still want to sub just every once in a while, just to keep my foot in the door, just to see old students. I do enjoy them most of the time. It's super weird as I'm like finishing out the school year and doing activities and things. It's so strange to think about me not doing them again next year, especially as I've shared so much of my teaching journey with you guys. Teaching will always be there and I can always return to it and I plan on it, but my daughter being this little will not always be here, and I just don't want to continue to miss anything else of her life. This is not to make you feel bad if you are a working parent. I've done it up until this point, and I fully intend on one day being a working parent again. I could do this for a year and then feel like I need to go back. I could do this for 10 years and feel like I need to go back. I have no idea. That's the beautiful thing about walking with God, is I don't have to know. He has already got it planned out for me, and I just have to obey and listen and trust. And so that's what I'm doing here, is just taking one step at a time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I just feel like I had so much to share. I cannot believe I am filming this video right now. It feels so strange. Thank you for supporting me and just being with me the whole journey of my teaching career. Just feels very strange that it's ending so soon. I will be filming, I plan on it at least like my last week of teaching and cleaning out my classroom and all of that stuff. I will be filming that because I think it'll be really sweet to document. But don't forget to subscribe before you go for all the future videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.